Architecture is almost like two eyes. The first eyes allow us to look into the beauty of life, the aesthetics, the visual, the culture. The second eye, I think, is to look at this world in a more scientific way. How do we make all these dreams possible? Architecture research is a method and an opportunity again for each of the students to bridge between imagination and reality. For me, the PhD program in architecture allows the students to develop and mature and understand the limit of their character. In the first years, it will be me who do most of the talking. In the second year, it will be the students who have, after reading a lot of materials, then I will expect them to be the one who are telling me more. And then we will begin to engage in dialogues and debates. In the fourth year, more and more we will all just only greet each other because they will be mostly very busy in finishing their writing work.
He can find out for every person what are the strengths and the weaknesses. And he can adapt to different styles of teaching, depending on where you're from, depending on what are your likes or interests.
I see it a necessity for my students to go beyond the library and invite them to challenge their limits by taking part in international competitions. Each of them will have this opportunity to show how architecture design and architecture research can be integrated and best serve society.
He got a lot of chance to communicate with experts and to encourage all of his students to sit together and discuss our research. So I think he's very helpful to me.
I always told my expectation to my students that I would try to shoot them into the orbit of the world. If you're on a higher orbit, it also meant that you're on a higher level of the universe of education from which you can serve the world.
A few years ago, I attended a lecture. A picture was shown. There is a person who is steering the ship, who is the pathologist, and the surgeons are working very hard to move the boat forward. I think this relationship also exists between the research students and the supervisor. So in the beginning, especially in the early stage of the research, the supervisor is responsible for steering the direction of the research. The students need to work very hard to move forward. The main motivation of my research is to better women's health. So I am most interested in the study of the cancers of the ovary, uterine corpus and cervix. I believe that we should adjust to the special ability and the weakness of the students.
For a period of time, my experiments were not very smooth. I felt homesick, but Professor Jiang cared about my emotion a lot.
Harmony and happiness of the working atmosphere is also very important.
I think she has set a very good living example for us. I know that she has a lot of areas to work on. For example, she has to go to Shenzhen every week to carry out her duties at the hospital in Shenzhen.
This is the Hong Kong U Shenzhen Hospital. This rich volume of clinical material will be very useful for our future research, both clinical and basic research. I'm happy to say that my relationship with my past research student is generally very good.
Professor Cheung, I would like to congratulate you on the excellent achievement.
Thank you.
You really deserve the prize.
I'm so glad to hear that you are awarded Outstanding Research Student Supervisor. Congratulations, miss you and love you forever.
You can imagine a cell is like a city. You have to transport different things to different locations. So I study one of the protein called kinesin. You can imagine this is like a car. It moves things around in the cell. Basically, the way I teach my student is that I will try to see what's the need of the student, and I will be served like a car to take them to their destination. I will try my best to get where they want to go.
Dr. Wang come to the lab from time to time. We will also have some appointments. He will give me some suggestions that make me think out of my box. I think it's mainly based on his curiosity in the biological sciences.
The other area I study is synthetic biology. This is to make part or device or system for biology, and you're trying to give it some new functions. I will teach them how to search for the answer.
Our project is about to use bacteria to treatment cancer. So because we are a lab of doing bacterial culture and bacterial engineering, so we didn't have technology of animal models. Dr. Huang brought me to Shanghai to study this.
I give them a lot of opportunities. I take them to conference. I take them to international competitions. I take them to meet other scientists.
My grandma died of lung cancer. At that time, he said that we can use our new techniques in clinical trials and save the lives of many cancer patients. This made me believe that our efforts are very useful.
Scientists were trying to find something useful for the society. The other is pure interest. You have this interest lead to somewhere nobody been there before.